a Tetris.
Yeah.
So a Tetris that's defined as clearing 4 lines with a single piece.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I never knew that. The
Yep.
name of the game, I didn't know. Okay.
So the only way you can do that is with that line piece.
That's your best clearance is 4 rows. You can never clear more.
You can never clear more than that. Yeah.
Okay.
So the only way you can accomplish a Tetris line clear is to have a single wide well.
Okay.
That's at least 4, and everything else is spaced out.
Yeah.
So if you watch a lot of the traditional Tetris players, Clash of Tetris players, they'll always have that single wide well on the right or the left,
Yeah.
and they just place those line pieces in there, and that's it.
Okay.
So that's how I learned to play Tetris. So in the original versions of Tetris, that was the best. Everybody got the Tetrises. It's all you ever built for.
Okay.
But in modern versions of Tetris, there's new things that you can do that are actually better.
More valuable
Than the Tetris.
Okay.
But for beginner players, there's absolutely nothing wrong with just playing a traditional style.
Just go for the 4s.
It's the easiest way to play.
Right.
It's nice and safe. So here's an example of a nice, clean Tetris ready stack. Everything is fairly flat, and let me show my text and see what I thought about here. This is an example of a Tetris ready stack. So we have this single wide well, and you also notice that the rest of the stack is flat. So no matter what piece we have, whether it's the square or the L or the J or the T, there's a spot for everything.
Yeah.
So it's a nice, perfect stack.
Mm-hmm.
This, man, I wish I had these all white.
The color. Yeah.
So this is another really nice setup because it allows you to get the Tetris, but then having this extra clearance right here will also allow you to just clear extra lines to get out of trouble. So watch, if we were to take this piece, like let's say we didn't want to waste, we can certainly do this and place.
You're saying that you want to try and get back to back.
If you wanted to start like getting some combos or things like that, or let's say all of a sudden you've got a bunch of incoming garbage. We haven't talked about.
Look how high
garbage.
you are. It seems to me like you've got to.
Yeah,
take care
you can start
of
to clear these out. But basically, so we could place this piece, but also watch what happens if we place. Let's hold this one and let's place this one, and this is going to give us a Tetris, right?
That'll bring that down a little bit.
That'll bring us down. Now watch what happens when we play this one here.
And you're just going to leave that big giant gap?
You think that will be a big giant gap?
Oh, it won't be because those two rows will
clear.
See, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Yeah.
I would not have.
And then watch what happens when you play this one. Those would have been gone, so that would have been down
you're
here.
saying instead of the green?
Well, those, I don't want to actually delete those, but now if you can envision in your mind, these 2 rows are now gone.
Oh, and then
afterwards. Now you place that one. See, that's another example.
Where what's blocking the hole is actually about to get cleared.
Yeah, or it actually wouldn't be blocked. This is another one. See, this is actually going to clear 3 lines.
Three lines,
clear 3 lines.
And it won't be blocked.
And it won't be blocked. Or if you put this square here, guess what? Those 2 are gone.
Yeah.
Or if you put this now if you put the T piece this way, you've now blocked the hole, right?
Really?
Because these 2 are going to clear, but that one's not.
Because that one little gap in there is going to leave it.
But if you put the T piece this way, you'll be okay. Because this row disappears and you're still flat.
Yep.
And you can still do this if you want to. It still keeps you wide open.
Man,
so having a single wide well like that.
Yeah.
With an extra little buffer of 2 to 3 at the top is really, really nice because then you can still get your Tetris. You can still get your Tetris.
I would have thought.
If you need to, you can do some of these other pieces.
Yeah, I would have thought I need to wait.
Thanks, DJ Chef. Appreciate that.
I would have thought I need to wait for 2 straight pieces, but you just showed me there's 2 or 3 different pieces that work well in that situation. Yeah. So yeah.
And absolutely, if you get 2 line pieces in a row, get the back-to-back Tetris. It's awesome because that will actually send a lot of damage.
Because to me, doing the 2 wide part, it takes a little more thinking. Like even still not obvious to me on that T piece that you have to rotate it the other way to keep from blocking the hole. It's not obvious at first, but now when you hold it like that, I can see that the one that blocks is the row that clears, so it goes away. Yeah. Yeah.
So here's another example of like, so this one it doesn't appear that we're Tetris ready, right? So Tetris ready means that we've got this line. Let me make this white real quick.
Okay.
So we have a line piece. So we want to get the Tetris, but we don't have
the right piece.
This is too wide. It needs to be 1
there is
wide,
no piece that can give you 4.
Right. So how can we make this Tetris ready? So with 1 piece, this can be ready for a Tetris. Can you tell how?
Well, yeah, you have to put that line piece on the second row, right?
Yeah.
So that
So if you're saying put this here.
yes, because now you've got a Tetris ready, at least for the bottom 4 rows. That you've pushed the problem up a little higher for later.
So you basically you're gonna place that, and then we're gonna hold this one, right?
Unless you want to start doing some of those 2 wide tricks like you were showing me, like you could rotate that like you did.
Yeah. Let's look at that. So what if instead of doing that, so basically, remember earlier we talked about the most valuable pieces to hold.
Right.
So we want to hold this.
Don't waste that.
Don't waste it, because we're just using this for nothing, right? So what if instead
do your 2-line strategy
and
first.
Just flip this like this?
Yeah.
And now what that's going to do?
It'll clear that.
It's going to clear this middle one. And
17, row 17 will get clear, but now you've added to your height.
We've added how many?
Oh, that's the question, because the middle's going to go away. So I think you'd be at 4 at that point.
Which is exactly how many we need.
Right. It looks like 5, but one of the rows is going to go away, so it'll become 4, and then you're Tetris ready. So in one piece that you'd be ready. Okay, I didn't.
And now we're ready. We didn't waste that piece, and we can actually use it for the Tetris. So here it is walking through. So here's an example of how you can do that with that piece, and then there it is. There it is after it clears out.
Okay.
So now let's talk about